All right, good morning, good morning. Hello, insiders. How
Good
is everyone?
afternoon.
You know what? I'm tired of you getting on to me about this. It's
12.
morning in my world.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Welcome to the, what is this, June edition of the
June.
Invo Insider. So
We're here.
we are here. I am your host. My name is James Dennis. To my left, the lovely Hope Solomon. She's the one that keeps all of this moving. So we are so excited to have you here. Thankful that you joined us, and we are excited to get yet another one of these kicked off and have a good time. So
Get this party started.
let's get this party started. So do we have an agenda for today?
We sure do have
We
an
sure
agenda
do.
today, and I would like to share it with you.
There you
So
go.
today we are going to have an interview with Danielle Nelson from Bank of Farmington. James and I will also be jumping into a demo for you guys. We're going to be talking about reporting. And then throughout the event, we are going to have Kahoots. So if you have come to an Invo Insider, you know exactly what Kahoots are. But for those of you that it's your first time, we want to introduce you to what Kahoot is, because one of you will be walking away with a Yeti cooler looking something similar to that in the corner. James, how are they going to win?
They
Yeti cooler.
are going to win. Actually, if you guys don't want to win this, I would love to win this. I will take that home with me. So, but they don't let me play. So, ultimately, to win the Kahoot, for those of you that haven't played before, you need to go to www.kahoot.it or bring up the Kahoot app on your phone. I've been told that the app is slightly faster than the website. However, it was only 0.00002 seconds
Oh,
faster.
well, that's still,
So
for a Yeti cooler.
for a Yeti cooler, it might be worth the download. So go out to www.kahoot.it or download the Kahoot app. We're going to give you a pin here in a little bit that will allow you to play along and get logged in. And then from there, it's just like everything else. You got to be fast, you got to be right, and you got to beat the person next to you. So as long as those three things happen, you'll be golden. Golden. So make sure that you are live in chat with us. We're already seeing a lot of chats come through. Singing. Yes. Seeing plenty of chats going through on YouTube. I almost said Facebook. I don't know why. But I'm tired. Leave me alone.
You need coffee?
I need coffee, yes. So we're excited to get this party started, and to get this party started, we're actually going to send it over to our fearless leader for a debrief on this month's topic. So take it away, Jake.
Good morning and welcome to this month's edition of the Insider. I am so excited that you are here and I hope you are having a great day. What a great start we've already had with James and Hope getting us off on the right foot per usual. Today is a great episode for you to be joining us, and we are also going to have the treat of sitting down with Danielle Nelson, Operations and IT Specialist from Bank of Farmington. She's going to be sharing their incredible story of a community bank doing things differently to better engage their customers, and I know you're going to enjoy that interview just as much as I did being able to participate in that interview. So first things first, if you hear some noises, some things going on, we are in the midst of some construction and remodel in our building, so anything can happen. We'll just pray the power stays on and that we stay connected to the internet, but we'll just go with it and ask that you also go with it with us. A couple of things. So today we're really focused on this theme of leveraging analytics and data to really be able to report on the reality of things within your financial institution. So what does that mean? Well, you're going to find out what that means a little bit later when James and Hope dig into the dashboard component of the Invo Solutions environment, specifically within the reporting and analytics section. Listen, that is where you're going to be able to really take a look at what's happening across your communication channels, being able to see what's happening within your teams, within your customers and your members. Take that information, make strategic decisions and be able to really focus on the reality of things. And so you're going to, I think, really enjoy getting a chance to break that down, and you'll want to stick around for that because we got some fun things in store for that. But let's talk a little bit about the interview today. You know, when I had an opportunity to really chat with Danielle about what's going on at the Bank of Farmington, she shared a significant amount of wisdom, which I found to be very intriguing, but I know for sure will be impactful for you in your strategic decision making. But a few things specifically that I want you to listen to today. First is texting. If texting is not on your strategic plan, it should be. And the reason you'll find out that that is beneficial is there is no greater tool today for you to utilize to bring your customers closer to your financial institution than the personalized communication channel of text. It's a device that's always in the pocket of your customer, but it's also a channel that you can communicate directly with at convenience for both your team and then also, more importantly, for your customers, and their engagement level is through the roof, better than any other communication channel. So text should be on your strategic plan. Secondarily, do not be afraid to try new things. Do not be afraid to think outside the box. You'll hear Danielle share how they tried strategies, had to pivot, regroup, and refocus strategies to meet their customer needs, as well as meet operational requirements. And I think that's important. I think it's strategically important to think about what are your goals and your initiatives, set those objectives, but then develop tactics to accomplish those things. And that doesn't always work. So be willing to be flexible and to pivot, to quote one of my favorite Friends episodes, pivot. It is completely okay to pivot, to get back on track, to make sure that you're following specific tactics that will accomplish those strategic objectives that you have laid out. Okay, so before I send it back over to Studio A, one more thing. So obviously I'm wearing some sweet swag today, and the reason for that is we are just a few months away from the Invo Summit, our annual innovation event, where customers and future customers alike come together in Springfield, Missouri to share ideas and also to hear the latest of innovation from not only Invo Solutions, but our strategic partners. So we're just a few months away. So I'm going to issue a challenge for the months of June, July, and August. For all of you that register, we're going to be doing a random drawing and giving away a set of AirPod Pros, yes, Apple AirPod Pros, to one person who is going to register during those months. So register during June, July, or August, and you could be the lucky recipient of a random drawing for a new set of Apple AirPod Pros. Now, where do you go? You go to invosolutions.com /the summit. Or just summit/summit. Ryan's going to kill me for getting that wrong. Or just go to invosolutions.com, and there's a great blue banner right at the top. You can click on that, go ahead and get registered, and your name will be immediately in the hat. And that's live today, so this is a big announcement for that. All right, we've got all that out of the way. Stay tuned. You're going to want to hear more about reporting. You're going to hear more for the interview from Danielle. And don't forget to go register for the summit. Without further ado, let's send it back over to James and Hope in Studio A.
What the heck?
Can
AirPods?
Can I sign up for the summit?
I was going to say, I'm going to sign up for the summit now.
You sign up in June, and I'll sign up in July.
Okay.
And then
that way we can both win?
We'll both win.
Yeah. Make sure you get signed up because it's going to be a blast. You're not going to want to miss it. We had a blast last year, all kinds of cool stuff that we did. We went to, gosh, where did we go? We went to Bass Pro.
Yeah, we went to Bass Pro.
Yeah, the Wonders Wildlife.
We played golf.
We
That
we had
was
so much fun.
Yeah.
So make sure that you are signed up. We're going to have all kinds of good stuff coming on this year. So I think it's Kahoot time.
Let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun. So
like
let's go.
Summery fun. I think it should be.
Yes.
I feel like a beach scene.
All the summer vibes.
All the summer vibes. Look at that. You
Wow.
said summer vibes, and boom, there it was.
It's perfect.
For those of you that haven't done this before, there's a pin on the top or a QR code. Scan that QR code or put the pin directly into your app, and we will get this party started. So you can see there we've got several people already logging in.
Yes,
man,
and
I want to go back to the beach.
This is how you win the Yeti.
This is how you win the Yeti.
Yes. This is how you win the Yeti.
Elise is here.
Look, you can put in emojis.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's
Skater.
fun.
Skater.
I like that.
J number
Yeah, so
one.
just as a reminder, again, we will have 3 segments of Kahoots throughout the event. So you'll want to make sure to keep the app open or this browser open so that you can come back and potentially win the Yeti, right, James?
Yes, you got to make sure you keep that app open or the browser, because
Yes,
otherwise you'll lose your progress and then you will cry to me and I can't do anything about it. So ultimately, make sure you keep everything open. So Yeti-less, I'm rooting for you.
Yep. So we'll give it a few more seconds.
There we go.
For people who are still logging in.
I think I know who G. Selly is.
James, what is your favorite part about summer?
The beach.
Oh,
the waves.
Me too.
I could sit and listen to the waves for hours and hours and hours.
So good.
Yes.
So good. And walks on the beach.
Yeah, except I don't like dirty, so like when my feet get all sandy, then I'm kind of one of those. Yeah.
Okay. All right. 5. Let's start this.
4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Here we go. All right. So the first segment is all about summer randomness. So,
summer randomness.
Yes.
Better known as June, it looks like.
June. I suppose so. All right, here we go. What does SPF stand for? Sunproof Fun, Sun Protection Factor, SPF. Maybe it doesn't have a meaning. Or Sunproof Formula.
Did you really just ask if SPF stood for SPF?
Listen, you never know. You never know.
I do know, actually. I'm pretty sure that is
It is!
Gosh.
There you go. Sun Protection
Somebody actually
factor.
put SPF.
Hey, listen. I'm right there with them.
Uh-huh.
Right there with them. All right, here we go. Let's see that leaderboard. We have Will in first place. Good job, Will.
Will Bruner the third.
Oh, interesting.
I know,
All right.
Fourth.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Here's the next question. Question 2. What percentage of watermelons are water? Is it 100%, 40%, 92%, or 2%?
We've been lied to our entire lives. A watermelon is actually only 2% water.
Only 2% water.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
What did you say that it was called
2%,
earlier?
a not so watermelon.
Not so water. It is 92%. That is correct. I love watermelon.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes,
yeah,
I love
so
watermelon.
Good.
As long as I don't have to clean it up afterwards. Yes.
Skeeter coming up in first place. All right, here we go. This is the last question for this section. Question 3. What month is National Ice Cream Month in the United States? Is it July, May, June, or December?
Oh, I see what you did there.
Now, James made me do this.
Don't you blame me.
James
don't you blame
made me do this. So, for those that picked June, I'm so sorry. I had September in there, and James made me.
I can't believe she did that.
Oh my goodness! It is July.
It's actually July.
In July, we are going to celebrate some ice cream.
I don't know why you didn't save that question for next month, and you snuck it in and messed with everybody in June.
All right, let's see the leaderboard.
You're a terrible person.
Here we go. Will coming up in first place again.
Wow, took the lead.
All right, that is all the Kahoots we have for right now. We will be bringing that back right after our conversation with Danielle and Jake.
Make sure you keep that app open because we do not want you to lose that. Will Bruner the third. Yeah. So apparently that's Will Bruner the fourth's father.
Oh,
did you know that?
I mean, I would assume.
Does he? You think he says, "Will, I am your father"?
I don't know.
That was last month.
Oh, that was last month, James.
Okay. All right. So, without further ado, and before I stick my foot in my mouth anymore, we are going to go directly into the interview with Danielle. So, without further ado, take it away, Jake and Danielle.
Welcome Invo Insiders to a very special and a little bit different interview this afternoon. I wanted to shake things up a little bit. So for those who have watched the Invo Insider live streams, but maybe haven't seen my face, or if you've watched the podcast, you might know who I am. But if you don't, my name is Ryan Heffernan. I'm the creative manager at Invo Solutions. I almost got my own title.
You're trying to give yourself a promotion over there. Unbelievable.
Hey, you never know.
Danielle. Yeah, Danielle's here to keep you accountable. That's why.
Speak it into existence. No, but I'm the creative manager at Invo Solutions, and I'm, of course, joined by our president and COO, Jake Martin, who you just heard from. We'd both like to extend a very warm Invo welcome to Danielle Nelson, coming to us from Bank of Farmington. So thank you for joining us, Danielle. How are you feeling about this decision at this point?
Feeling great.
Now, we're excited, though, to have you, Danielle. Excited to hear what's going on at the Bank of Farmington. And me and Jake, like I said, we're going to kind of tag team it today. But really my goal here is to kind of curate this conversation between you two. I just want to start off with you, Danielle. You're the operations manager, vice president of IT support at Bank of Farmington, come from a background in the industry, specifically maybe in sort of the electronic services, tech side of things. But you've been there for nearly 7 years, if I am not mistaken. If you could just maybe start off by telling us a little bit about Bank of Farmington and what makes your bank unique.
Sure. I believe that we're unique in a way that, when I kind of first started at the bank, we were kind of catching up with technology. We had, the online banking app and the bill pay and things like that, but we really kind of wanted to be at the forefront of that technology. So over the last 6 years, we've really ramped up our programs, our offerings to our customers, just to make sure that we're offering the latest and greatest in the banking world. So that's kind of our goal right now, is just to make sure that instead of kind of being, behind on the technology, we're kind of the trailblazers of technology.
Yeah, I was going to ask because, just trying to stay competitive, right, in the market. How are some ways that you guys have maybe looked to stay competitive, specifically with your technological options?
Sure. So we actually stumbled across Invo Solutions a couple years ago and kind of knew right away that was the way we needed to go with our technology. So looking at video banking and text banking, I think that will be really big in our market eventually. We're kind of the newcomers in this market as far as where we're at. So people are kind of hesitant right now to use it, but we're doing everything we can to just kind of push it out there. And make sure that people know that we are here to stay and we have technology and, we're a great bank to work with. And, we have the things that you need to connect with us and communicate with us, young and old. So that's what we're just trying to find that good niche right now.
Yeah, I think that when we first started talking, I was impressed immediately with the vision for that strategy and all of those technology that you've talked about. But how take us back to the beginning, Danielle. How did you in the bank decide to select and prioritize investing in some of these different tools and technologies, Invo or otherwise, to meet the customers of the bank? Like, what did that decision-making process go, and how did you arrive at this is going to be the strategic 1 through 5, what have you, to accomplish those goals?
Sure. So, of course, COVID kind of accelerated all of that. We were in a pretty good position when COVID hit. We still had the means for our customers to still effectively bank with us, but we wish during that time we had a little bit more. So as we navigated through that pandemic, we decided that we needed more. Hopefully that it would never happen again, but if it did, we would be ready more than we were the last time. So that's when we brought in ITMs. We talked about it a little during COVID. We thought, no, that's probably not the way we're going to go. But then as it progressed and extended out, we thought, this is what we want to do. So instead of just having a regular ATM, we want to bring that technology in. We want to do some construction. We want to get our drive ups with ITMs, and that's the way that we need to go. And so we kind of decided to do the ITMs first, and then it all kind of went hand in hand and snowballed from there with video banking and text banking.
Yeah, the ITM strategy is something I think we see, and Ryan and I have looked into this, probably roughly 85 to 90% of clients at Invo that we're fortunate enough to serve are also ITM users. That's a significant capital investment. It's also a significant strategic shift in operations. And then the customer experience it can be dramatically changed. And I heard a little bit there, but I would like to dive in a little further, if you don't mind, on that topic, because I think it's really helpful for some of the insiders that are here today to learn from you in developing a strategy, because maybe they don't have a clear vision for, hey, what's next, right? And they're looking to pioneer that what's next. So ITMs at the onset of COVID, what a great thing to have in place. And you mentioned the strategy. So was it exclusively outside the branch in the drive up, maybe like out in the pneumatic tube area, off-site? Walk that out with as much detail as you're comfortable to kind of explain it to somebody who hasn't made a decision on a strategy yet.
Sure. So we first looked at our ATM fleet as a whole, and we had to decide, what kind of brand of ITMs that we wanted to go with and where we wanted that to be in the future. So we took a look at NCR, and we thought that was the best way to go on that. Our life cycle, basically, for all of our ATMs, we had to take a look at that, planning, end of life for some of them, and where we were at with all of that planning. And then we decided, let's start at our main branch. Let's get an ITM in there. We put it in our vestibule, so it was inside. And we had that inside the vestibule for, a few months. That way we could accustom our customers to it just being right there. We can take them to it. We can introduce it. It's not, we didn't want it to be a thing. We just kind of wanted it to be like this new technology that we had to introduce them to. We're not forcing them to use it. We just kind of wanted it to be there. And then once we got done with all of that, we decided, we're going to start replacing our drive-ups. So we started with a remote location from our home office here in Farmington. It's a smaller community, smaller branch, and we decided that they had one drive up, so we're gonna stick a ITM through the wall there. So the adoption was a little rough at first. With any change, there's always challenges, and we knew that the adoption was not going to be, within the first 30 days. We knew it was going to take a while. So once we got done there and everybody settled, and of course we had construction there, but then we moved on to our Farmington branch, which is our main branch. We replaced the 2 lanes. We had a through the wall ATM and then 2 drive up lanes. So we took the through the wall ATM out. We revamped the whole construction, put a new canopy, or the new driveway, put a canopy up, and put 2 new ITMs in there. So that took place last December, right in the middle of the very, very cold winter. But we stood out there for, a few days and just introduced it to our customers, the ones who were not familiar with it from being in the vestibule. And then, we stood out there, we introduced it. And again, people were a little hesitant of change, but it is catching on, and people are feeling more comfortable with it. So as far as our next plans, we're just going to hit all of our drive-ups when time allows us. We have construction at each branch, so it's a little bit harder logistic-wise to figure out all that stuff, so it takes time. But eventually we will replace all of our drive-ups, and we do have one remote location that will put an ITM, and that will be basically a pretty much full-service branch, just in a little desk. So that's kind of our plan so far in the next 2 years-ish.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think actually it's kind of funny because on the podcast I think it was last month or maybe 2 months ago, Derek Rudolph actually said something very similar about deploying the tech of want to deploy technology that isn't like intimidating. It just seems kind of normal, that just kind of blends in, like people would maybe think twice about it. And if you wouldn't mind, I kind of want to dive into that just a little bit deeper, because you come from a tech background, or just dealing with like electronic services, that side of things, with the financial industry. And I was just curious if you could maybe share your thoughts on what customer service looks like today digitally compared to maybe in the branch. And obviously you're merging those things together, but if you could maybe just look at that comparison, how those two things interact with each other.
So I do remember watching that podcast with Derek, and at the end of it, I was messaging some of my coworkers saying, see, it's nice to hear that somebody else is kind of doing the same strategy. It's just not putting a lot of pressure on it. But where was I going? Where was I going with that? I don't remember.
No, you're good. I was just curious. I just wanted to know, looking at like how the customer service has maybe changed in the branch and adding those digital options, like what does that look like?
Yeah, so in branch obviously is still the most preferred method of most customers, but our digital offerings, allow us to do so much more than, just having a video session with a customer or being able to co-browse with them and show them our website. We've actually put video banking in place as our online account opening option, Monday through Friday, and then on some hours on Saturday. So instead of buying a account opening module, I would say, we're doing video banking, and we feel like it's a lot better for our customers because it's face to face. They still get that warm handoff and contact, and they feel a little bit more comfortable with the whole process. So that's kind of where our strategy was. Instead of having an online form that you fill out and you submit and you wonder what happened to it or who's going to contact you or when they're going to contact you, we decided that the online video account opening is our best option. So that some people love that. It's still catching on, but when we do tell people that we have it, they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's so awesome! That's exciting." So a lot of people like it, but there are some that say, "Nope, that's not happening." And then I will walk into the branch. Even if the branch is open 1 hour, I will walk in there on that 1 hour and I will do my business. So we still want to make sure that we're treating every customer the same. We're giving them that small community feel and that personal service. So that's kind of what we're after there.
Yeah, I think that's probably the thing I like the best about successful strategies in deploying stuff like this is you always have that true north of customer service, right? So we understand today you're trying to solve for operational efficiencies, staffing challenges, something we talk about almost every single week now with someone who's seeking this out to solve for hiring challenges, retention issues, or even just retention of employees and talent in general. But if you don't have a true north of customer service as the litmus test of success, then you're kind of just chasing shadows, it seems like, all the time. How are you measuring quote unquote success? Are you engaging the customers after these interactions, whether it's at the ITM or with the video banking exchange? Are you doing surveys? Are you following up with them? If you're comfortable sharing that, I think that those types of feedback loops are more important than ever, and I think it will help others to maybe find success even quicker than maybe they would if they weren't measuring some things. What are your thoughts on that, Danielle?
Yeah, no, we are doing some surveys at the very end of video banking. We do have, how are we doing? Did we help you with all your needs? How else can we help you? So we are doing that at the end of video banking. As far as the ITM side goes, we just receive customer feedback when an experience is great or when an experience is bad. And those just come in generally, through email or in person. I know our remote branch services team does do some tracking of that as well, and reaching out to customers and making sure that everything is satisfactory and that we've met all their needs. So we have a separate branch, a remote services branch that does our ITMs, our big tech.
I maybe want to shift gears just a little bit here and maybe focus just a little bit on the specific tools you're using. So I know we've talked about customer service and hiring, like the difficulties of staffing, sort of how these tools maybe alleviate some of those things. But I just want to maybe dive into the specific tools and features. I know you guys have chatbot, you're using some of those things. I'm just curious what, maybe not necessarily from a customer standpoint or maybe from the customer standpoint and the staff standpoint, but what would you say is maybe the tools or features that you have seen the most growth from, or maybe you've seen have been adopted the quickest, or maybe that your employees like the most? Are there specific features that you've really just kind of grabbed onto?
So Invo text is definitely something that we have really enjoyed. We just rolled it out a couple months ago, but it's catching on a lot faster than I feel like any of our products and services have in the past. Just because it's easier, and once we get it out there, they're like, oh, we can text, and it's not just a balance. You can literally have a complete conversation with somebody over text banking. So I feel like that's been adopted really well in our area. And I'm really looking forward to mass texting when that comes out, because I really feel like that's going to be a huge game changer for us. We'll be able to really push that number out there. And once people, I always prefer to text if I can, but once people know that it's there and they can have a conversation with us, even outside of banking hours, it's going to be a no-brainer for everybody. So that's probably my most favorite technology so far, ITM being probably the second, just because it's just cool. And
Yeah, mass texting coming in June. A little foreshadowing. You might already have that information. If not, you need to go and call James and bust him up on that. So
No, I think even what you said, like people want to text, and that's one of the things that we talk about a lot. Where I know there's maybe I would say a stigma among texters. Like obviously no one likes the group chat. I think people don't like to be in those sorts of text messages. But if you look at data, I mean, I think it's like 75% of people want their bank or credit union texting them. They want to communicate with their financial institution via text. It's what's the most accessible. And even with, I think the read rates like 97% or something of texts get read within the first 3 minutes or something crazy like that. So specifically, like if you're talking about convenience, right? Like what your customers want from you, how they want to contact their bank or their credit union, their financial institution. That really is what they want. And that goes back to the idea of giving the customer what they want, the accessibility that they want. So that's awesome. And maybe staying on that a little bit, just looking at specifically how those tools and features have impacted your staff. So we've talked about a little bit with reporting, but is there, because we talk a lot about the customer and how it impacts the customer, and that's obviously what sort of matters most to us. But I think one of the things that I take away from talking to banks and credit unions about these tools is how much their staff benefits from it. So maybe from like a efficiency standpoint in your branches or even from your staff, have you heard feedback from your staff, from your employees about how it's been helpful for them to get their work done, help them interact easier with their customers?
Oh yes, for sure. So when we first started talking about text banking, our loan officers, I feel like, were the most excited about it because a lot of them, their personal cell phones are, ways that they can communicate with their customers, and so their personal cell phone number is out there, and their customers can contact them anytime, whenever they want. So you've got customers texting you on a Sunday night, asking you a question. So you're not really ever getting a break from that role. So they were super excited knowing that they could send out a text to a customer to say, "Hey, I need your payment. When do you think you're going to bring your payment in?" And honestly, I think customers are more apt to answer through text than they are. They'll probably try to avoid your phone call or not return voicemail. So I think they were the most excited about it, just being able to have a number out there that is designated only for this and that people don't have their personal cell phones. So, and just in general, sometimes it takes, picking up the phone is not hard, but sometimes it's like you don't have the time to do that. And so you can send a text, to a customer and say, "Hey, I need your internet banking authorization form back. And when can you get that to us?" while you're answering another email. So multitasking for me is huge. So that's, I think the employees are definitely excited to use the service and have been excited. And our remote branch services staff, they are excellent. We made that into our call center. And so when they're talking to customers on the phone from all these different branches, they're also saying, "Hey, and by the way, you can text us, or, hey, I'll text you, or I'll text you right after this. So you have this number, go ahead and put it in your cell phone." So they have done a phenomenal job getting that number out to all of our customers, and just knowing that they can contact us back has been huge.
I love that. And so that point right there, I think, is massive. So whenever you've deployed these technologies and these different, I would say, communication channels, we call them collaboration channels, how are you coaching your team to ensure that you're communicating it? Because that's also a form of advertising, right? Word of mouth advertising, which in my opinion is the best. So are you developing scripts? Are you giving them things to say? How's that work?
Yeah, so when we did ITMs, we definitely have scripts that we follow. It's important to know that all of our ITM bankers are on the same page when specific things happen. It's
Sure.
not so scripted that, they sound like robots in there, but, there's specific things to follow as far as procedures go. And I know that the remote banking services group also, when they're talking to people on the phone, they do have specific scripts that they would follow for video banking as well as call scripting. So they do a fantastic job over there, just making it consistent for everybody. And everybody's kind of getting the same answer all the time. And the call center has worked wonders for us. And we decided when we got video banking that it was time to kind of roll all that stuff into one.
So was that process a quick process? Was it something that you kind of just all at one time, kind of just put all your eggs into that basket? Was it maybe over time, or how did that process look?
As far as the remote branch services team or the call center, because it kind of all goes hand in hand. So when we got ITMs, we decided that we needed to have kind of they all needed to be in one place with as a group learning together and managing those ITMs. And then it just only made sense when we rolled the video banking out and the text banking that it all kind of goes in there. And then once that happened, then it was like, okay, we need a call center. We need to kind of alleviate the staff at the branches, because they're getting a lot of phone calls. So we're going to give it to this group, and it's really worked out well. And that's probably evolved over the last 6 months, probably, when we've made all of these changes, and we've worked through them, and this is what makes sense, and it's coming together very nicely.
We talked about this a little bit with customers, and we probably alluded to it a little bit even with staff, but was that something that was easily adopted or well adopted by your staff maybe as you were introducing it? Because I think over time, obviously, we get more comfortable with even just with new surroundings, but was that something that they quickly kind of grabbed onto, or was there maybe pushback, or how did that look?
No, they didn't. No, there was no pushback at all. I think they enjoy it, and they learn a lot. They learn about the different products and services that they may not have learned about. Just answering the phone for their one branch. So they've kind of gotten an overall view of what each branch needs are, what people call about the most often, and they've learned a lot about other digital products that we have to offer. They have basic knowledge before, but really kind of been able to kind of dig into those problems. So they have adjusted very well, and I think I've only heard good things from the staff. They really, really enjoy it, so that's good. The adoption was easy for this one.
Well, how about this? You had brought up the mass texting,
Yeah.
and the strategies that are possible with taking something like that to expand the reach to the customer base, and then, in my opinion, interact with them even more at a higher level and maybe at a more personal level. What are your thoughts on that? Have you been thinking of strategies that you would like to accomplish with that platform, and if so, when you do deploy and put that in place, what are you looking to do with the customers? What are you looking to accomplish?
I think for that, number one, just getting that number out there, just in a mass text, so people understand that that's what it is. I mean, we can do all the marketing we want on Facebook and billboards and things like that, but until people actually have it in their hand without them having to do something, I don't think that there's going to be a lot of people that are just going to pick up the phone and text. Like I said, there have been some, but once they have that number and they didn't have to do anything to get it, I think that there is, like I said, it's going to be a light bulb. And then just being able to send out, promoting our video banking, and hey, do you need to open an account online? Do you need to update account information? I feel like the sky is the limit with mass texting, getting new rates out there, looking for deposit accounts, because that's what we're doing on a daily basis, is looking for those deposits. So I just feel like it's going to be huge. It's just being able to reach so many people. Texting is so popular that I just feel like that's going to be our ticket right there.
No, you got it. And you even though at the beginning you're like, what were we going to do with this? You literally went bullet point through bullet point. You've already got a plan in place. You're ready to go.
Oh, I'm ready.
And you're looking at the right things. And Ryan referenced some of those stats earlier, but I mean, texting is what it is today because it's convenient. People are willing to respond to it. It's this thing doesn't go, or I don't go anywhere without this thing, right?
Yes.
And neither does anyone else. And so, yeah, I like that. I think that's a great next project for the bank.
I have to ask this. This isn't in our notes, but as a marketing person, I kind of have to ask this because we've kind of referenced it a few times. But I'm personally curious about, you've talked about how you market your texting and even your ITMs, how you kind of worked with those things. But I'm just curious on your sort of marketing strategies between something like text and just your video banking. Do you guys sort of merge those campaigns? Are they all completely separate? Or maybe just as far as you'd want to go into detail, like how do those things work for different features?
So the video banking and text banking, we have kind of merged as far as marketing goes. I mean, our biggest point is that you can bank with us anywhere, anytime. So, you have a picture of somebody on a beach that's, doing text banking, or, they're in a combine and they need to do something, they can text us or video call us. So we've kind of combined those two products and just said, hey, this is super convenient. You can do it anywhere, anytime, just all you have to do is, text us or click on this link. So that has been a joint effort, I think, as far as that goes. And then it all just wraps into everything else, online banking and all those other services.
Yeah. Are those things that you're just maybe having pop-ups on your website, maybe just a little link at the top, or have you been using social media maybe to push those things? Like, what are sort of the avenues that maybe you guys have used?
Both. Definitely social media. We do send out a lot of constant contact emails out to people. We have rearranged our website just a little bit because we did find as we were working through the video banking and text banking, everything was a little buried. So we've brought some of that stuff up to the very front page. We put video banking out there. We have, contact a live banker now to open an account. People can click on it. And we've actually built a different products page. And after each product, we have open now. So it's just a button that they click and then it takes them directly to video banking. So we've kind of rearranged our world a little bit, but it's for the better. And, we probably needed to do it for a long time. So now our customer can go to our website and they can find the things that they need in less than 3 clicks, which I think is very important.
Yeah. That is the important thing. Yeah. And I think, and obviously this stuff is sometimes hard to track, but have you guys seen success from those things? Have you seen maybe you can maybe even be from like personal testimonials or word of mouth from customers, but has it been from your experience easy for your customers to find? Have they been able to get where they need to go quickly because of those campaigns?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, we've had a couple of video banking calls, and I would assume that they've come from our website since we've brought that all up to the surface. So, yeah.
On a side note, did you volunteer to take that picture to promote live banking through texting on your website, the beach picture?
Oh, I could have. I've been trying, to get this range down there, but nobody seems to be.
It makes sense now.
No, keep pushing. We've got your back. We can go ahead and get some noise behind that, I think.
Yeah,
there's never a better time than right now.
that's right.
There's never a better time than right now. Yeah.
I just have a few more questions as we begin to maybe wrap up. We always kind of end with a very similar line of questioning, and one of those questions is asking just for maybe testimonials. So we love to hear stories of customer experiences of whether it's video banking or whether it's the chatbot or text. So I was curious if you had maybe any stories that come to mind, just of hearing your customers maybe telling you or experiencing these tools in real time.
Yeah. So I was talking to our remote branch services manager the other day. She shared with me a customer experience that they had with video banking. They are a customer that is about an hour away from here. And they're in a much bigger city than Farmington. And Maddie was telling them about video banking, and they just thought that was the coolest thing ever, So it's kind of nice to hear that they're in a very populated area, and video banking is not something that is offered in their area. So little old Bank of Farmington, comparatively, has this really cool, awesome feature that you can use, and the customer doesn't have to drive an hour here. They accomplish what can be done over video banking. So that was kind of cool to hear that there's in such a populated area, and they had never heard of it. And then we received a text actually just last night that the customer has said, well, this is just a wild technology. So I don't know if wild was good or wild was bad, but I did answer him back, and we were able to make contact with him about a potential loan. So people, once they hear that we have it, I think they're like, wow, that's incredible. So that's why I think it's going to catch on eventually, and it's going to put us in a really good spot for the future.
Yeah, we'll take the wow as a positive.
That's the new tagline. Bank of Farmington, wild about banking.
Wild about
yeah. I like that. And maybe even on that note, because maybe that's something that makes Bank of Farmington unique, but maybe something just maybe leave us with one more impression of what makes Bank of Farmington maybe different than the rest.
Sure. Definitely our technology. Obviously, we're finally at the forefront of technology, and so trying to catch up with everybody else. But just still having that community feel, being involved in our communities is very important to us. In all of the communities, we have 4 different branches and different markets, so we're all very heavily involved in those. Just making sure that we're not losing that customer experience, that personal experience. We don't ever want someone to feel like they're, calling an automated system where they can't get through and they're getting frustrated. So we always just want to make sure that we have all this cool stuff, but we just want to make sure that we're still thinking about the customer when we're implementing it, and thinking about all of our customers, not just, older generation, younger generation, or the, to making sure that, like you said, there's different options on the website. We want to make sure that we're trying to appease everybody, and make sure that get that out there and they have a choice. Our customers are our lifeline, so make sure that they all feel like they have a choice on how they work with us and contact us and communicate with us.
No, I just wanted to say that I think there's been a tremendous amount of insight that you've shared that is going to be a significant benefit to not just community banks, but just banks and credit unions in general that are looking at, hey, what should I be looking at or considering? And being comfortable to step outside the comfort zone, because I think one thing that I see consistently is being afraid to do something different because maybe it won't work or it won't be accepted, and not even starting because of the fear of failing. And you gave us several examples of, hey, we tried this and it didn't work, or we tried this and it didn't work how we thought it might. And your willingness to go, that's okay. Like, it's okay that didn't work, or it's okay it didn't work how we intended or how we planned, but here's how this specific bank at Bank of Farmington went through this and came out on the other side successful and are already looking at what we're going to do next. I can't tell you how refreshing it is to have this conversation when you guys are moving so fast and being so successful at it. And Danielle, I think you've written a playbook today for a lot of people that it's going to be very beneficial for them.
I have a great team that surrounds me, and we are all on the same page and we all have the same goal in mind. So that helps a lot. Just push forward, and challenges will come, but we'll get through it, and we just do it. Done.
No, thank you very much for joining us, Danielle. It's been an awesome time with you this afternoon. Do you have anything else that you maybe want to add? Maybe one last thing you want to tell everybody before we jump off the call?
No, I am absolutely perfect over here. I'm going to end on a good note.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, that works. Well, if not, thanks again for joining us. And I guess at this time we'll turn it back over to studio to James and Hope. Is that right?
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, Danielle.
Thanks, Danielle.
All right, that was awesome. Absolutely enjoyed that. Man, who knew Ryan would just knock it out of the park like that?
He did awesome.
He did so awesome.
Yes,
he did.
Such a good interview.
Such a good interview. We really appreciate you, Danielle. That was great. Banking,
really great.
Anywhere, anytime. Anywhere, anytime.
I think it's time
I want to go to the beach. That's all I know.
for another Kahoot.
I volunteered to go to the beach so you can talk about banking anywhere. I will do it.
Okay, so they need to pull up their browser again or their app, because we are about to get into the next Kahoot.
Let's do it.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go for it. All right, this is all about Bank of Farmington. So let's go to that next slide. And here's the first question, true or false? Bank of Farmington is collecting customers' feedback after video banking calls through the Invo survey tool.
Wow.
Whew.
That was a lot.
That was a lot.
True or false?
Is that true or is that false?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes, okay. That's yes.
Yes.
I like that response, James.
Yes.
Solid.
I've said that twice today. So yes.
Here we go. Let's see what the answer is.
Is it going to be true? Is it going to be false?
It is true.
Of course.
Good job,
true.
everybody.
Of
Let's
course
see the
it's true.
leaderboard. All right, we still have Will in first place. So let's move on to that next question.
Supposedly Will.
Supposedly Will.
I don't know who that is.
What was the Invo tool that Danielle is really excited to roll out? Is it Invo Campaigns, Invo Concierge, Invo Chat, or Invo Video Banking?
Campaigns, is that texting thing that
It's that texting
where
thing.
you can send out marketing texts
to
all
everybody?
the things.
Yes.
So they know when you're open,
Amazing.
when you're closed, and when your rates are phenomenal.
Yes. We are so excited for our Invo campaigns. We are so excited. And everyone pretty much got that correct. So good job.
Way to go.
Let's see the leaderboard.
Oh,
we have somebody else coming up in second place. Here we go.
Close.
Last question of this section. True or false? The biggest thing Bank of Farmington emphasizes to their customers is that you can bank with us anywhere, anytime. Is that true or is that false?
It might be true. Could be wild.
They are doing some great things over at the
They're
Bank of Farmington.
wild.
Wild about banking.
Wild about banking.
Love it. Wild.
Wild
Wild.
on the beach. Wild on the beach.
On the beach. Still,
In that
still
boat
dream-
right there.
Yeah.
In that boat.
Oh, what a dream.
Yeah.
In the cartoon.
The
beach.
cartoon beach.
Everybody got that correct. Good job, everybody. Let's see that leaderboard. All right, so we have a few people moving up.
Oh, there it
Few people
is.
moving
There
up.
it is.
All right, James, quickly, we are going to jump into a demo.
Okay. So quickly. You say quickly
I
like
say
I need to
quickly
hurry.
like you need to be auctioneer talking fast.
Okay. All right. Well, I can do this. So, welcome to Invo Video Banking Reporting. So, as Hope mentioned already, we are going to talk through our reports. And for those of you that have never seen reports, there is a report button at the top of this screen. Inside that report menu are several reports. We have some reports that I'm going to talk about here in just a minute. We do give you the ability to build custom reports, a specific X and a Y axis, and you can build whatever report you want. We're going to go into the survey reports here in just a second, because for those of you that weren't listening, you can set up your own surveys. Those surveys can be completely customizable. You can set them up with stars, you can set them up with text, that net promoter score, have it all match up with that. Great information from there, as well as some other things, including our booking tool, our chatbot, and if you do have our text platform is actually going to have a very special overhaul of the reporting as well. So lots of cool things coming through reporting, but for right now, I'm going to actually just show you some reports, and we're going to kind of walk through things. So as you can see here, you have the ability to customize this view on date, tenant. So if you have a multi-tenant situation, you can actually set that up. Channel, location, queues, or if you really want to see who is your star users, you can do that as well. And once you get into that, then you really get into the data itself. So if you want to find out how many calls per day or what your busiest days are, you can see that information here. Calls per hour, so when is our busiest time of the day? So clearly it's during the 10 o'clock hour and the 2 o'clock hour. That's when we get the majority of our calls. Which weekdays are the busiest? So clearly, according to this, Wednesday is our busiest days, and we also miss more calls than we care to admit on Wednesday as well. Calls per location, per kiosk. So if you do have our in-branch offering, you can see which locations and which kiosks are getting the most traffic. And then you can come back down here. This is Hope's favorite graph. She likes to say that she works harder than everybody else, and I guess this graph somewhat proves it.
Well, if it's true.
In this specific environment, yes. So as you can see, Hope's got more calls than everybody else, and she loves to rub that in our faces. So calls per channel, per queue. So if you really wanted to see where your calls are coming in from, you can see that information. And then we get down into the minutia of the actual calls themselves. So the average call from the time you were queued into the branch to the time that your call was completed, how long your customers waited in the lobby, how long that the calls are actually taking place. So if you, for any reason, put the customer on hold, you can see that information on here as well. And all of this, if you need to, can actually be exported and then put into any other system that you want. The other report, and probably the report that I hear the most feedback about, is our survey report. So this survey report gives you the ability to really see what those surveys look like, but you can also use this report even if you don't use our survey tool or if your customers aren't answering every survey. You can actually shut the surveys off, and it'll bring in all the information regardless if a survey was answered or not. You can see here, there's all kinds of different ways to group this information. So you can group by agent, channel, queue answer, all kinds of different options. But if I remove the grouping altogether, then it's going to give me all of the information about who has called in at what time. So you can see here, we get a lot of calls from Patrick Mahomes and Hope Solomon. So you can see all of this information kind of going down through here, but you can see this information at a glance. And then, like I said, you can come over here and you can actually export it directly to CSV or to Excel. So lots of cool information. Like I said, this is probably one of the most useful and most used reports that we have. But obviously, all the other reports give you the ability to kind of look at your call volume as well. So, did I take too long?
No, you did a great job.
She
you
said
did a great
I did
job.
a great job.
Yes. I think it's time for our last Kahoot. That was a great overview of our reports, James.
Did we make it in time? So
yes.
That's the big question.
So this is the last one. We're going to find out who wins the Yeti.
Let's do it.
So let's get that app back up, or the web browser. Here we go. So first question in this section.
Oh boy.
True or false?
True or false?
You can build your own custom reports through the Invo reporting system. Is that true or is that false?
I thought we were
Who's going to win the Yeti?
I thought we were going to change this.
No, I didn't want to be mean twice in my Kahoot.
Since when?
Well, since, it's summertime.
Uh-huh.
Happy time.
I see how you are.
All right, let's see who got this correct. It is true. Yes, that is very true.
Very true.
Very, very,
you
very
can
true.
Create
so let's go ahead and see that leaderboard. We still have Will at the very beginning. All right, let's go to the next question. Question number 2 in this section. Reports can be grouped by agent, channel, queue, all of the above, and more.
And more.
And more.
I'm going to go with just agent.
It's like one of those commercials.
Yeah. Is it like night agent?
Night agent. Oh, it's a good one.
That is, yeah.
It's a good one. I liked that one.
We are waiting for just one more second.
Oh, yes.
Oh, 13
all of the
people.
above. Let's see that leaderboard.
One
Was
person
all of the
actually got it
above.
wrong.
Oh, we
Will
have J number 1.
dropped it.
Uh-oh. Let's go ahead and see the last question and then who wins the Yeti.
Uh-oh.
True or false? Invo surveys are fully customizable. Is that true or is that false?
Go, 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 go. Quick.
Who's gonna win?
Quick.
Who's gonna win?
I'm going to win.
You're gonna win.
Yes. Perhaps you didn't realize I was playing right over here.
James, you can't win the AirPods from the Invo Summit and the Yeti.
Who says?
Well.
I was going to say, maybe I'm J number 1.
All right, let's see that leaderboard. Here we go. And in third place, we have...
Drum roll, please.
Please let me
Ply.
play.
Ply.
Second place is L1. And in first place, we have...
Dun, 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 dun.
J
number 1. Congratulations. That's awesome. Oh my goodness. That was delayed, but there is definitely confetti everywhere.
All the confetti.
And Hope is very happy now. She
Love the confetti.
She loves confetti. I'm really not sure why. So thank you so much for being here. We're going to put some show notes on the screen. So make sure that you reach out to Bank of Farmington with their information. Their website's on here. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as get registered for next month. Not to mention, as Jake mentioned earlier, the Invo Summit is coming up very, very soon, and we want to see you here. So make sure you get signed up for the Invo Summit. You think this is fun? Wait until you see the amount of confetti that happens at the summit. So
all the confetti.
It's stressful, to be perfectly honest, to people like me. So we're excited to have you here. We can't wait to see you. J1, make sure that you reach directly out to Hope. That way we can get your Yeti ordered and sent directly to you. So you don't have to have a gray one. We'll get you whatever color you want. So
yes.
Make sure that you reach out to Hope. Her contact information is going to be on the screen here in just a minute. If you need anything else, by all means, let us know. But I think we've got a trailer for next month, so roll that beautiful bean footage. You really shouldn't dance in public. Not like that, at least.
Dancing.
Dancing.
Love all
all
the
right,
dancing.
all right. Until next time, night-night. Talk to you later.
See you in July.